Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
So nice of you to join us. Thank you so much for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. You know, as a songwriter, one of the biggest compliments that I can get, and as I've said before, a lot of time these compliments, these are like, when you get them, they're like payday for us songwriters. And the biggest compliment I could ever get is when someone comes up to me and goes, you know, that song right there, that song you did, that's going to stick in my head all night long. Or, you know, I've been singing that song to myself for the past week. I can't get it out of my head. When you plant an earworm, right? Do you know what I'm saying? So let me ask you, as a songwriter, are your melodies and lyrics earworm worthy? You can reply in the comments, no matter where you're listening. We're everywhere. And of course, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Can I play for you the song that's been burning in my ear for the last few weeks? Let me play it for you, okay? Because you may have heard it. I can't get this out of my head. Right? You're welcome. I've passed it along to you. There you go. It's infectious, I know. The band was called Clout, and they were out of South Africa, burning it up in the late 70s and 80s. I mean, played all over the world. The lead singer, the lady out front, is at our dining room table today for our podcast. So nice to have you. Cindy Alter.
Oh, what a pleasure it is to be here. And when I hear that song, I always get a smile on my face. People say to me, aren't you sick of that? You know, can you imagine how many times I've sung that song?
Yes.
I mean, really,
you can't even count it.
I can't even count.
Yeah.
But the point being that if it wasn't for that song, I wouldn't be here today. So that song I'm grateful for, even though it's a pain in my butt.
Well, and Cindy played. Now, before we go any further, I want to thank Judy Pastor, who introduced us. And Judy invited you into her round this past Wednesday night at the 12 Keys, which I host. And if I embarrassed you by asking you to play that song, I'm so sorry. She's
it wasn't embarrassing because this one guy came up and says, listen, I'll give you $10 to play the song. I said, start upping the bid, man. Give me, start. I've got 10, I've got a 10.
20, 30. We could have gone an auction thing.
I would have been very happy with that. I mean, you know, starving musicians, of course.
Yes, that's what it's all about.
I love it.
You know, you talk about in the past few episodes, we've talked a little bit about defining success. And what success is for folks. And I tell them to be very careful, you know, however you define success. And the last couple of episodes, you know, we've kind of mentioned that. And I was reading an interview that you did, and I love the way that you define success. It says, I have been remarkably successful because for over 40 years now, I'm still singing, writing, producing, and doing what I love. What I have a passion for, and there's the word, there's the magic word. And if you talk to any of my broadcast students, they'll tell you, Dave Lennon always used to say, passion, live the dream, you know, and you have a passion for what you do. And that's success.
That definitely defined my success because, I mean, when you're a 20-year-old and you are a hit maker, you know, and you are on big stages and you've got the limos and the whole shebang.
You did too.
You know, you think that this is it. Mm-hmm. But even then, I had a bit of a squawked way of looking at things.
You did?
I did, because I just thought, you know what? I just want to play music and love it.
Yeah.
And if people are loving it too, fantastic.
Yeah.
But that is why it was so hard when our manager was, you know, he was taking our money and we were ending up with nothing. And I was like, this is not right, you know. And we tried to fight it in different ways and blah, blah, blah. That was another story. But point being about success, I realized then that success is being happy.
Yes.
And being comfortable in your skin.
Yes.
And not being at odds with everything and not being abused by anything.
Yes.
The system, the manager, the any whatever. And I hit hard when I came down from the Clout situation, because I thought, what the hell am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And I sat on the floor for a few moments, and then I thought, well, I'm going to get up and carry on doing what I love doing. Mm-hmm. And that was it for me. And when I do a lot of vocal teaching.
Great.
And songwriting workshops and stuff
You're
like
a heck
that.
of
And
a writer. We're going to get into that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Wow. In Nashville, they say.
Yeah, in Nashville.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I would always say to them, going on Idols is fantastic, and winning and being a big star overnight, wow, fabulous. I said, but if you are not passionate about what you're doing, at the first sign of trouble, you're going to give in. How many artists do we see, sadly, that take their own lives, that end up being alcoholics, drug addicts, because this business is brutal.
It really is.
This is not an easy little ride. Hey, man, I'm just going to have a cool little ride. It looks so nice on TV.
Yeah.
It looks good in the movies.
You're glamorous.
Boy, let me tell you, you got to have balls of steel, baby.
Yes, you do, don't you?
That's...
And it really did happen for you. You were like 20, 21 when you formed Clout and traveled all over with, you named the band, Blondie, Police, Dire Straits. The list is amazing of the people that you played along with and shared the stage with.
We used to
so
do
you were living
TV
the dream.
Shows,
Yeah.
And they were the big European TV shows. So if you were in the top 10 on the hit parades, and in those days, those hit parades counted. That was all that sold records.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There weren't no YouTube, Spotify.
You were a viral sensation back then. Before
we went viral before it was viral.
Yes, you did.
So, if you were in the top 10, you had to play these TV shows because that sold your records, right?
Did you have to lip sync it to the...
You lip sang.
Did you?
You lip sank.
Lip sank.
That's the plural of lip sync.
Sync is lip sank.
Lip sank. Because it was a sanking feeling, man. So, you had to lip sync to all these things. So there was the Police, there was Blondie, there was Buggles, there was Earth, Wind and Fire, there was...
Gloria Gaynor,
big fucking... funny story. Funny story about that.
Because she also did that with you, did she?
She did that song.
Yeah.
She recorded the song Substitute. She'd heard and she said, oh my God, I just heard the song in Europe and it was fantastic. Let's record it. And it flopped.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it totally flopped.
I was listening to it today. Yeah. It's out there. You can find it.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And then they, in those days it was a single. So you had side A, side B.
That's right.
And they thought, oh my God, we better flip it because we got nothing else to offer. And we want her to get out there. And what was on the flip side? Side B. It was I Will Survive.
I was going to say.
I have a copy of that single. I have a copy of it. Somebody found it for me.
I Will Survive was the B-side. I never knew that.
B-side.
Wow.
What a story. And she
that is a story.
She went viral after that.
She did.
So anyway, these were the TV shows and we used to go there and do them. And it was the biggest fun because afterwards our record companies would all take us to clubs and dinner and my gosh, we had far too much fun.
Let me tell you.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't. I could only imagine, but it must have been a blast.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic. I don't want it just to be about the Clout and that song. And you had another one, Save Me, that was a big hit for you too.
Yeah, very big, yes.
But I'm
glad you did your homework. I appreciate it.
You have to. And my friend Sean Casey, who's from South Africa, who came over here and visited, and we found him through this podcast,
Okay.
And he tells me, he said, Dave, oh my God, he goes, if he plays out everywhere around there, and he plays covers, and he goes, if you just start playing the first chords of Substitute, everybody sings in with you.
Everybody sings it.
Hands in the air, everybody. So that's the kind of hit we're talking about.
It's a classic. it plays still on Radio 2 in the UK, plays in Belgium, plays in Holland, plays in Germany.
Yeah.
It's one of those songs, and I'm so grateful that I had a song like that.
So here's where I'm interested because, it is the Songwriter Connection. Some interesting song. I know you didn't write it, but tell us how you've come to record that, and was it brought to you?
Yes, it was actually our manager's wife loved the song.
Really? Okay.
And she said, there's this sort of obscure Righteous Brothers album track.
Yeah.
And it was exactly that.
They did it was 75 or so.
Yeah, and it was very as I say, their vibe was, girl, you've been waiting.
Yeah.
You know, it was totally that soul vibe, which was
And then Bobby comes in with the real high part.
You know, yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And she brought it to her husband, who was our producer, manager, everythinger. And he said, okay, let's try. I got to do it a different way, of course. And he did it like that. In a way, it was a little bit African, because there's a certain beat in South African and Africa, the African sound. It's just got a little, it's not soul.
Ask Paul Simon.
Yes, you know what I'm saying? It's got a bit of a little bounce in the groove, you know?
Yes.
And so he put a bounce in the groove, and the song was recorded, and I remember, I think it was 1 or 2 takes, and that was it.
That was it?
Yeah, it was a quickie.
Incredible.
And within 2 weeks of us releasing that in South Africa, it shot up the charts, went to number 1. And then the guys were going to Medam. You know, every year in Medam in Cannes, they have the big music symposiums.
Wow.
So it's like a NAMM kind of thing.
Right.
That's mostly equipment and stuff. This was to meet other record companies and sell your stuff in their territories, licensing.
Okay.
And as I say, selling albums, music, new music. And everybody picked up on the song. They went mad for it. So suddenly it was like, wow. And then
let's get that earworm effect. It just sticks in your head.
It's that kind of song. It's a
And
great pop song.
Yeah, it was a great pop song.
Pop song.
Yeah.
And there's a guy in Nashville, he actually stays in Murfreesboro. His name's Freddie Cannon.
Freddie Cannon.
Do you know Freddie?
Oh, no, I don't, but I was reading about him today.
Yes, so
I'd love to meet him. Sir Freddie Cannon.
Sir Freddie Cannon.
Yeah.
And Sir Freddie Cannon was, he was the head A&R guy at the record company that bought us for Europe, for UK and Holland.
Gotcha.
And France. And the company was called Carrere Records. I also love
Carrere
France.
Records.
Carrere. His name was Claude Carrere.
I love it.
And he even said to Freddie, what do you want with this band? It's not so good. And Freddie says, I'm telling you, this is going to be a hit.
Yeah.
So I've known Freddie Cannon since 1978. Well, I didn't meet him physically, but we are still very good friends to this day.
That's awesome.
And we did an album together in 2016 when I came to visit in Nashville. I did an album.
That's awesome. You're sitting in the French room right here, by the way. The dining room.
This is the French room.
Yes, we've got, by the Seine.
See. Oh, I love it.
Some of my favorite chateaus.
So you do like France?
My brother lived there for about 3 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And they were some of the best vacations I ever took.
He lived imagine.
In the Loire Valley.
Okay.
Really great wine there.
Yes.
Chanel was not too far away. And
I'm sure.
So this whole room is there. Yeah,
I can see.
Yeah.
Back there is definitely very apt French depiction.
You bet.
I absolutely love it.
So you got to spend some time there too, huh?
Oh, yes, I did, and I loved it. Paris is definitely one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
But I also got to go to different places as well.
You did, huh?
I loved it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So we're talking about the song, and I don't want this to be all about the song.
No,
but
sure.
Some of the things first thing that popped into my head when I heard the song is I know that the Righteous Brothers said girl, right? So did you think about going boy? But I love what you did, and I want to know whose idea, how it came about. You gave him a name.
We gave him a name because, our manager said, you know what, girl, boy.
Yeah.
It's just, we would like it to be everybody. Yeah. So it could be singing, a girl could be singing to a boy, a girl could be singing to a girl, a boy could be singing to a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
So Sam is a very generic name.
Well, she never thought about it that way.
You see, Sam, it could be a girl or it could be a boy.
Oh, well, that is interesting. So it's his idea.
So it was his idea to change it.
Yeah.
And we thought, there was many names that had gone before. And then Sam was the one that landed. Sam.
Could have been Chris.
It could have been, maybe not rolls off the tongue. They were Paul. Dave.
Why not Dave?
It could have been Dave.
Dave would have been a good name.
You never know.
Well, next time you do it.
Okay.
I'll give you the. You want to play that? Because folks can listen to that. And you know what? By the way, go to YouTube and look up Clout, and it's there. There's a great video.
There's a couple of videos
there are
on different TV shows there.
Yeah, check it out. Would you like to play it for us now, or would you want to? It's up to you. I want this to be your show.
Of course.
All right, here we go. Cindy Alter's our guest. It's Songwriter Connection.
Said you've been waiting much too long now. It looks like she's not coming home. Said you've been loyal, true and faithful all this time of being in love. If I could get that same dedication, I'd give you everything in creation. If she doesn't come back, I'll be your substitute. Whenever you want me, don't you know I'll be your substitute. Whenever you need me, Sam, every day you waited for her, I've been waiting here for you. Sam, all this time I've been lonely. I know what you've been going through. I wait until my chances occur, 'cause you can't keep relying on her. If she doesn't come back, I'll be your substitute. Whenever you want me, don't you know I'll be your substitute. Whenever you need me, each day by your window, you sit inside to see her face. You might as well forget about her and find someone to take her place. I'll be your substitute. Whenever you want me, don't you know I'll be your substitute. Whenever you need me.
Cindy Alter is our guest. We're on the dining room table here at our home in Hermitage, just outside of Nashville. This Songwriter Connection. Cindy, you did that the other night, and it was so funny because you're in the key of E when you're playing that,
indeed.
and you were talking. You're such a show person. You started saying, "See these chords? These are other songs," and you were going through them like Wild Thing. And
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, most good songs are like 3 chords and the truth.
And the truth. That's
as
right.
they say.
Absolutely. Well, it's a little bit more than three chords because what you do in that bridge, and if you back this up and you listen, when you go to the bridge, you're bringing that melody to a different
It's a
place.
totally different thing.
You're going to the D.
Forget about her.
Yeah. So is that a key change, or is that what you call the flat 7?
It's not a key change.
Yeah,
It's just chords within that group.
Within that grouping.
You know, and you can always find chords within your groupings, you know.
I always like to call those the money chords because they're different. They take in a different Yeah. It's really cool.
Sure.
Well, thanks for that. And thanks for sharing the story behind that and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's move on. You went from South Africa to LA.
LA.
Yeah. Culture shock? What brought you to LA? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd been traveling in Europe, which we know, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I had another band after Clout, which was called Zia. That was an African rock band. And that was at the time when things were starting to change in South Africa. Yeah. And we were having, there was a lot of turmoil. But the multiracial thing was coming to the fore because people were just saying, we don't care what you say anymore, government. We are just going to mix. We'll go to the clubs that we're not meant to be going to. We'll go to the movie houses. We'll go to the stores, etc., etc. It was like the revolution was starting, and it was a fantastic time because there were a lot of bands that were supporting that. A lot of bands that were playing this sort of pop, sort of I don't want to call it white pop. I'll call it sort of world pop. Was marrying with these amazing African beats and
there
rhythms.
There was that melding going on, wasn't there? Yeah.
So our band was called Zia.
Zia, right?
ZIA. And Zia was also, we were doing all the big shows, all the big concerts, working with all the black bands, the white bands, the pink bands, the orange bands, whatever bands were available.
Right.
Excuse me. And we were lucky. We went on tour to France. We did our first tour. It was fabulous. And our record company in France said, we think this can work. How about we bring a whole contingency of different acts? So we did this big tour. It was called Franchement Zulu. And it was like a whole bunch of Zulu bands and us. We were mixed. We were white guys and black dancers and singers. And we were asked to open for the Bee Gees.
Wow.
Which was wow.
Yeah.
In a very big sports stadium, Bercy in Paris.
Wow.
Big sports stadium.
Wow.
So we did that, and the Bee Gees loved us.
Wow.
They totally fell in love with us.
What year is this?
This was 89.
89, okay.
And we get back to South Africa, Johannesburg, and there's a fax waiting. Because in those days there was no emails.
No emails, right.
Sorry, guys. You either phoned or you faxed.
That's right.
And the fax said, we would like to invite Zia to join us on our world tour as our supporting group.
Wow.
Now, wow.
Yeah.
Is that not a wow?
Big wow.
Does one say no to that? Our record company said no to that.
You're kidding me.
Why
on earth would they
fry?
say?
Because they're small fry. That's the problem. Such small fry.
Bee Gees?
Bee Gees asked
were
us
small
to
fry.
No, I'm telling you, our record company was small fry.
Oh, I see.
No, God, no, the Bee Gees weren't.
I was going to say.
No, our record company.
Your record company was
had no foresight whatsoever.
Unbelievable.
They should have been torched.
You know, I was talking to Jimmy Coppens, who Jimmy hosts rounds at the Commodore. Have you been at the Commodore Grill yet?
I have.
Yeah.
I sing there quite a few times.
He was giving some advice to some young talent the other day, and I overheard it. But he had told me this before. Yeah, go ahead. He said, because you got to be careful, because in the business there are a lot of sharks, money grabbers, cheats, scammers, and then there are the bad ones.
Don't you love that?
I loved it. Yeah, it says a lot.
You know
doesn't
that
it?
crazy saying? People say it's Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah,
I don't know whose saying it
Thomas.
was, but it was some funny guy, and he said the music business is a dirty, grimy pit of thieves and marauders and all kinds of stuff. It's got a whole thing, and then there's a bad side.
There's the bad side, right?
So,
kind of like that.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
And that's what I said earlier on in this interview.
Bad management,
I said,
right? Yeah.
Brutal business.
Yeah. But
Bad
it's happened,
management.
It's happened to a lot of them.
A lot of people.
Billy Joel, had lost everything he had. It's just... It's
George Michael, Elton John,
yes,
big stars.
Yes,
and you can still get screwed. Let me tell you.
You got to be careful, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I do these little sort of educational talks on the music business.
Oh, great!
And I talk about know thine enemy, and I say you need it's like going to war. You need weapons, and your first weapon is knowledge.
Wow.
Get to know what this business is all about, how you can empower yourself, who's on your side, blah, 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 blah. That to me is everything.
Mm-hmm. So important.
And I haven't met a manager since that I would want to sign with.
No kidding.
I'm sure there are plenty out there. I just haven't met one yet.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't signed a record deal since then. I've signed like a one single, one album deal. And it's not because I'm gun shy, but it's because I want something to believe in.
Yeah.
Make me believe in you.
I get
Don't
you.
just give me the talk.
Mm-hmm.
Walk the walk,
Yeah.
And I had a rough time in LA. I met a lot of people in the music business, and they were all like, "You're so good, but you just, you're in your 30s." I'm like, "Oh, okay, so that matters. Obviously, age.
Yeah.
The next thing is, you're so good, but we just signed a girl with a 12-string. Her name's Melissa Etheridge." And I'm like, in the whole of America, there should not be 2 women that play a 12-string guitar.
Exactly right.
So I'm starting to think to myself, how am I ever going to get anywhere? I decided I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yes.
And I just started doing my own shows, booking other artists on my shows, booking songwriter evenings, rounds, and I just did that for the rest of my years. And I got to play at really great places. I got to play on a beautiful TV show with Kenny Loggins and Clint Black and Olivia Newton-John. And
Olivia.
I mean, it was really fantastic. I've done beautiful things.
I am so glad you mentioned that, because that's what I've been telling folks. That's the advice I give folks. Be your own thing. Do your own thing.
Do your thing, man.
Yeah.
I love the way people say, "Oh, so what's your music sound like?" I'm like, I couldn't tell you.
That's the worst question ever.
I don't know who do you sound like? I said, I hope
me?
to God I sound like myself. It's just like, is that my only prayer? Please, God, let me sound like me.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked about that in this podcast quite a bit. That is like the worst question I think ever. Who do you sound like? What are your influences?
Yes,
what's
your genre?
What kind of music do you play?
Yeah,
I don't know. Hopefully good.
Good music, hopefully. Also.
Exactly right. Yeah. So I'm so happy to hear you say that. So you did your thing, and
I did my thing.
And the other thing too, I read about you're a poet as well. So not just a musician, but a lyricist and a poet. You wrote poems for a long time.
Yes, I'd started writing poetry before I knew that they would ever be songs.
Yeah?
Well, like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Really young.
So before an instrument came along.
Yes, before an instrument came along, I'd always just write my feelings down or thoughts. I would think of things and I would just write them down. And I just found that it served me, and in America, I used to send my poems to a lot of these sort of poetry competitions and stuff, and I got published in the International Poets Book or whatever the hell it was.
That's great. Yeah.
But it was just nice to know that my lyrics had some gravity. That was really all. Like, do they say something? And even now, in my songwriting, I never sit and think, I've got to write something that is profound, and I need to write something that feels good to somebody. I just write what I write. And it just happens to land in that space that says, oh, wow. Now, earlier you were saying, hopefully good thoughts. Good thoughts, good songs. You were saying how you'd want somebody to hear a song that you've played and just come up to you and say, wow, that song really stuck in my head or whatever. To me, it's like when somebody relates in any way. And they say, wow, that song really hit me.
Yeah.
It's like my life, or my husband's got the story, or I have the story. And that to me is the reality of it. I'm not going to write about me getting into a truck and drinking beer because it's not who I am. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No. Yeah.
That's a different kind of thing. I write about, damn, I've been through absolute hell. But look at me. I'm still here. Aren't you still here? Yeah, we're all still here. We made it. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sobering, you know.
I'm going to hear some of these new songs that you're writing.
Okay.
But we got to take a break. Thanks to my folks at Red Circle who sell the advertising. This just to tell them to plug some in right here, okay? Don't go away.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
We're chatting with Cindy Alter today around the dining room table. And you've been in Nashville now how long?
Since last February. Not very long. It's
so what brought you from L.A. to Music City?
When I was living in L.A., I used to come to Nashville just to sniff around.
Yeah.
Just to get the smell of Nashville.
That's how it started with me, too.
It's a smell.
Yeah.
It's like a physical thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It was just calling me.
Yeah.
Nashville's calling me.
It's got a way of doing that, doesn't it?
It got under my skin. So I'd been only about 3 or 4 times.
Uh-huh.
And the last time I came, I played at the Bluebird. I did a set just before the actual show started in the evening. I was like totally mesmerized by being on that Bluebird stage.
It's the coolest thing.
You know, absolutely. And just the history of Nashville, the history of the music in Nashville, and everything about it. And I got back to LA, and I was married at the time, and my husband was a bass player, so he'd played with me on this little tour that I'd done. And I said to him, look, there was a guy at ASCAP that loved my songs. And he said, listen, if you come here, I think I could get you a publishing deal. I'm not promising. I said, no, there's no such thing as a promise in this business. I said, but I'd love to give it a shot. So we went back to LA. I said to my husband, how about I go there for like 3 months. I'll drive down, so at least I got a car. I'll find somewhere, I'll stay with a friend or something. And let's see if anything happens. If it happens, let's go.
Right.
Let's go live there. And he said, cool. And I got leukemia.
Yeah.
And I was struck down, literally, with very high level stage 4 acute myelogenous leukemia. I was very sick. And that was that. And I remember calling this guy at ASCAP and saying, I won't be coming because I've just been, he says, I'm so sorry and I wish you well. And again, Nashville never left me.
Never left.
It never left me. And after my cancer...
But fortunately,
yes,
leukemia did.
Leukemia did leave me. I had a bone marrow transplant in 2003 with fantastic doctors at City of Hope.
Wow.
I was very, very lucky. They did an autologous, that means my own stem cells. They were experimenting. And they experimented very well. And then I thought afterwards, I think I need to go back to South Africa. I need to have Africa in my blood, and I need to get well.
Yeah.
And I went back to South Africa.
Went back home.
I went back home, my other home. And then I put my old band, Clout, back together. I thought
Put them back together?
A reunion show would be fantastic.
Yes.
And we did a reunion tour for about 1.5 years.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was fun.
All the same members?
We had, unfortunately, one of our members was overseas. And we couldn't use her, so we used the bass player that had joined us when she left. So it was still kind of original members.
And you know, to go back there again, it was an all-female band.
We started off as an all-female band. There was 5 girls in the band. When we got back...
That was rare at the time, wasn't it?
Very rare.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, there was a band here called Bertha.
Bertha? Don't remember.
Bertha.
What do I know?
Yeah. And, I mean...
Yeah.
There was stuff happening.
You're blazing the trail.
And Fanny.
Yeah. Oh, Fanny.
And the lady that was in Fanny, Fanny's the music store here.
Oh.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep.
How about that?
And they knew about us because when I came here to Nashville, I went to the store and this friend of mine had taken me and she said, oh, this is Cindy Old from Clout. Oh, we knew that band and you were also an all-girl band. And we were like, yeah.
That's awesome.
So there were a few all-girl bands, but nothing really relevant at the time.
Yeah.
And when we came back from our second sort of TV thing, our keyboard player said, look, I'm leaving the band because I'm getting married. And we said, okay. And then we got 2 guys in the band.
Okay.
These guys had actually played on our first album.
Okay.
Because they wanted the album out real quick. After that single went viral, and we released Save Me, and that was going berserk. They were like, we need an album now. And we could have done it because we all played. We could play. We were good players. But we wouldn't have been quick enough.
That's the thing about those studio musicians.
Yeah. The studio musicians were like, bam.
Yeah. That's
You know, it's like coming to Nashville and getting studio musicians to do your album.
Yeah.
You got your album in 5 minutes, you know.
You do.
You do, and they're brilliant. The best of the best.
Yeah, like they've been playing it their whole lives. You know,
and they have.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah.
There's a thing. It's
really
a homegrown thing. As I said, there's a smell in the air here. You people who live in Nashville, you don't remember to smell. I smell it all the time. Mm-hmm. But
is
living
it the
here,
smell of money?
That would be fun.
It's
if I
the
could
smell of
money.
creativity.
Yes, that's what it is. It's inspiration. It's creativity. It's like
it is inspiration.
You people should know what you got here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Tell me the difference between the culture in LA and here in Nashville.
You know what? Everybody in LA is also very much trying to do their thing, What I found in LA is there wasn't as much versatility as I would have liked. So if a bass player was a rock bass player, he would play rock. Mm-hmm. But I would need somebody to play my stuff, which was kind of African folk, say. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
But great musicians, of course, in LA. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
The rock scene was thriving. It was the 90s, the long hair bands, the whiskey. I played at the Roxy. I had so much fun.
You did. Played all the great places.
So I did.
Yeah.
I had a great time in LA.
Very
different. I can't say bad or good.
Just different.
Just different. Mm-hmm. I loved LA, and I still love LA.
I love LA.
I love LA. Yeah, I love LA. Yeah, I do. But I'm really starting to feel like I belong here now.
Yeah. Can you share with us a song like what you're doing these days?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Cindy Alter's our guest.
I could do my newest one that I wrote like 2 weeks ago.
Well, I've always heard they say the three most beautiful songs in the world are Amazing Grace, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and the last one you wrote. So, lay it on us. I want to hear.
So this is the last one I wrote.
Oh.
And it's kind of like my life story, which it is. I'm sure it's everybody's life story in some way. It's called She's Doing Well.
All right.
I've been a fool. I've been a vagabond. I've been an angel. And I've been a child. I've been a dreamer. I've been a schemer. I have been innocent. And I've been so wild. I've been a mountain, and I've been a stone. I've been a river that ran with the fury of blood, flesh, and bone. I've been to heaven. I've been through hell. But there's a survivor in here, and for now she's doing well. And I've been a lover, and I've been untrue. I've been a fighter, and I've been misused. I've been through the ocean and through cities of gold. I was once beautiful. Now I'm growing old.
You're still beautiful.
I've been a mountain, and I've been a stone. I've been a river that ran with the fury of blood, flesh, and bone. I've been to heaven, and I've been through hell. But there's a survivor in here, and for now she's doing well. I could be saved, but I've been a mountain, and I've been a stone. I've been a river that ran with the fury of blood, flesh, and bone. And I've been to heaven, and I've been through hell. But there's a survivor in here, and for now, she's still went away.
Oh, that's beautiful. Awesome. Great voice, great playing.
Oh,
it's
thank you
Cindy
so much.
Alter here around the dining room table of the Songwriter Connection podcast.
Thank you
Brand
so
new
much.
stuff.
Brand new, yeah. Nashville bound.
Nashville stuff. There you
Yeah.
go. Do you find the songs are coming from a deeper place these days?
Yes, they definitely are.
Yeah.
I've mostly written sort of deep stuff. I've got some frivolous stuff as well, which is fun. But mostly my big songs are sort of deep and
I love that stuff.
thought-provoking.
Oh, yeah.
But the two songs I've written here in Nashville, one I wrote last year, and I recorded it. And this one I'm going to record soon as well.
Now, is it released, the one that you played?
I haven't released it. I'm going to release soon. I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row regarding the distributor.
I got you.
You know, so I'm trying to do CD Baby.
Yeah.
Or one of those, you know.
DistroKid. I'm really
DistroKid
enjoying
is really good.
DistroKid. Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I appreciate
I recommend
that.
it. Yep.
Judy actually told me about DistroKid.
Yeah, she does that as well. Yeah, Judy Pastor, who's been on the show a couple times. Yeah.
Because I was trying to get my stuff on CD Baby, but it just wouldn't load. So I'm in the process of loading everything.
That's great.
So I did 3 songs with this producer that I love. He's a friend of mine. I met him in LA. He has since moved to Nashville.
Cool.
He is the professor at Belmont University, and he does he's the sound engineer.
Okay.
He runs that program and stuff. So
Belmont.
he's a great guy. He's such a sweetheart. Also a good songwriter. Also, you know, plays all the instruments, the usual Nashville geniuses, darling. So he recorded the 3 songs. They're really nice. They're just in the pocket exactly where I wanted them to be.
Great.
You know, we'll take it from there.
It's so important to find a producer who you know, trust, and could give you the sound you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think we're always doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, now I've just recorded these songs with Dave, and I loved it. But I'd be interested in recording some new stuff with somebody else.
Yeah, me too.
You know? Yeah, you know that
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. What can they do with it?
Yeah, what can you do with it?
Yeah.
And it's just good. I think it's good music business.
I think so too. I have to agree.
You know, to also not wear all their hats. I'm a good producer.
Are you?
But I don't want to produce myself.
Yeah.
I'll hear things like, let's change that. Or how about this? And I'll have a few things, but I don't want to sit in there and produce myself, because then I'm wearing the other hat, and I can't be as the artist. I can't be objective to the artist because I'm the artist.
That's important. Yeah.
You know,
I understand
it's
what
kind
you're
of
saying.
like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
I need to be smart about this.
I got you. And it seems like you are. You've been playing at the City Winery here in Nashville.
Yes, I played there.
What a gig that must be.
Oh my God, that was such a beautiful gig.
Yeah?
It's a beautiful venue. It's a real, again, a Nashville venue.
It's one of my favorite places to see a show here.
Oh, it's so nice.
Intimate, and the sound is fantastic.
That was
and you
the
can drink
thing.
wine?
Yes, of course. And they've got wines with my picture on them now that are
Do they
available.
really?
Yeah, you
That's
can call
awesome.
Hey, I'd like to get a Cindy Alter bottle of wine.
Well, there's the new definition of success, folks. There you go.
Yeah,
right?
you go when you got a bottle of wine with your name on it.
I love it. That's fantastic. What kind is it? Is it a Sauvignon? Is it?
I think I can't remember. I'm so sorry. Jeez, I'm a bad drinker.
That's all right.
I'm such a bad drinker.
It's a wine.
It's a wine.
It's a wine.
You want some cheese with that wine? I can't get a song heard in this town. I'll keep whining, girl.
Well, how about another song? I want to hear some more Cindy Alter stuff, please.
Okay.
Please.
I didn't play this song the other night. It's called Thrive.
You know, I'm so glad you said that, because I was listening to that this morning, and I wanted to ask you about that song.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I don't want to, sometimes I make a request of a song, and they go, "Oh, I'm with it anymore," or
Oh no,
but
I do all my songs.
But that's one I love. I was listening to that.
Thank you.
And tell us about that song, Thrive. It's called. It's out there.
Yes, it is. And there's a video. I did this video in Germany in the forest. It was beautiful. There was an old church and a forest, and just very simple. It was just a nice HD camera.
Yeah.
And it just me singing. That was it.
I love it.
I'd gone, it was probably 10 years ago when, I can't remember, 2015.
2015. Okay.
2015, and I was going through a bit of a tough time, as we do.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's ever plain sailing, darling. And
life happens.
I didn't have a therapist. And this friend of mine said, I've got a friend who's a life coach, and she can maybe just give you a little pointer, get you back on track. And so I went to see this lady. She was very nice. She said, "Tell me your story." And I told her my story. She says, "My gosh, you're such a survivor. You've been through so much. But do you know how to thrive?" And I looked at her and I was like, "Huh? Wow. What's she talking about, thriving? What does that mean?" You know what I'm saying? It was like such a left field word. Of course I know what it means, but do I really know what it means? And I suddenly thought, she's dead right. I'm a warrior. If something comes up at me, I will fight to the tooth and nail. I will get through it because I'm a tough gal. But thriving is a different way of doing it. Thriving is like coming through it, blossoming and learning and growing and loving yourself through it. Instead of just being that, I'm the survivor, I'm the warrior, I can do it. And I had to dial it back a bit because my warrior would come prancing out of the forest with its shield and its spear at any drop of a hat. And I was like, okay, let's do this gently. How about we really love ourselves through this? And I got home that day and I wrote the song in 5 minutes. Wow. It was like, hold on a second. I had to write my story, of course. And it was like, this just came out of me.
This may be certainly one of the best advice I think we ever had on this show. Learning to thrive. Yeah.
Especially in the music business.
And I've never heard it put that way either. Very interesting. Wow. So now I got to hear this song again. Now I know where it's coming from.
Yeah, this business can take you apart. It's constantly testing your worthiness and your, am I good enough? And here I am here with all these songs. You say, my God, you got great songs. Nobody wants to touch them. Nobody's offering me a publishing deal. No, so I have to keep my head on me. Yeah, I have to keep my head together at all times and just say, whether anybody does pick it up or not, I still will write these songs because this is who I am.
Well, this is the essence of what I want this podcast to do for folks. And if they keep that in mind,
I believe that.
Yeah, that's success. Again.
That is it. And that's how I measure mine.
Oh, my.
And as I said, if I don't get anything, I don't get anything. Maybe it wasn't my turn.
Interesting.
Dusty road, I've done it all on my own, through fire and rain. Oh, I'd do it all again. Sometimes I felt myself lost along those bridges I've crossed. But the lessons I've learned outweigh the bridges I've burned. I don't care if I've got nowhere to go. I don't care if I'm all alone. All I know is the I'll thrive. I think I learned right from wrong. I think I wrote some good songs. I try to stay on the track. Left a man that could love me back. And every time I lose faith, somehow I just find my way. When I feel I'm not worth a damn, so it shows me that I am. I don't care if I've got nowhere to go. I don't care if I'm all alone. 'Cause all I know is the fire inside burns bright. I'll do more than survive. Whoa, no, I don't believe in fairy tales. But I do believe I'm not gonna fail. I don't care if I've got nowhere to go. I don't care if I'm all alone. All I know is the fire inside burns bright. Burns bright. I don't care. I don't care. All I know is the fire inside burns bright. I'll do more than survive. You know what I mean.
It's Cindy Alter. Oh my. Such passion when you sing. I just love it.
Thank you.
I can't tell you what a pleasure it has been to get to know you better and
you.
to have you here around our antique Duncan Fife
I love it.
table here, which is every bit the star of this show.
The
Except when you're not
Duncan
here.
Fife is very beautiful. It really is.
Thank you. Continued success. And let's stay in touch, okay? And keep me
Thank
posted.
you so much for this, and I appreciate it. And to all you folks out there in Nashville, keep doing what you do,
Keep
man.
doing what you're doing.
Watching music and playing music and writing music.
Supporting those local
Love
musicians for sure. Absolutely. Cindy, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So
Dave.
great to see you.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.